What up, Real fam? Hope everybody's having a blessed New Year's. I just wanted to record this video really quick because I was kind of talking with my mentor and coach and stuff, and we was talking and kind of sitting about like the lessons we've learned throughout the years, and what lessons I want to take moving into 2025. And so I wanted to make a video real quick on those lessons I took away from 2024 and about how you can be more intentional and use these lessons to better protect your peace moving forward in 2025. Whether you have new goals in 2025 and you just you want to know how to achieve them. I just want to share kind of what I took away from 2024 and how I'm going to be moving more intentional in my life. So first things first, don't disrespect yourself trying to earn the respect of others. That's kind of a principle I mentioned in my Let People Miss Out on You video. And that is kind of, exactly what it says. Sometimes we try so hard to earn people or get people to accept us, get people to value us, get people to see us in a specific way. And we don't realize how much we're disrespecting ourselves trying to basically achieve those things. So, we're trying to earn somebody's respect, but the whole time of us trying to earn that respect, we're disrespecting ourselves. We're begging for people. We're not treating ourselves according to our worth. We're overlooking red flags. We're, just constantly disrespecting ourselves, basically. We're giving people chance after chance. We're not seeing people for just who they are and letting go of who we want them to be. It could get to a point where it's like you're not enforcing boundaries. You're not speaking up for yourself. You're just letting things slide that you really don't even want to slide. But it's like you're so caught up in, trying to earn this person, wanting this person in your life. You want something out of this situation where it's like, you're completely disacknowledging, how you're even treating yourself throughout that whole situation. And I think that's a very important lesson I had to learn this year, because I realized like it was costing me my peace. It was costing me being myself. I know I'm a person who typically enforces respect and boundaries and things like that. I noticed myself getting away from those things, from trying to accommodate and work on fixing certain things with certain people. And it was like, is it really worth me not doing all these things just to be able to get that? And I was like, it's not. Don't disrespect yourself trying to earn the respect of others, because you really only end up hurting yourself in the end. People can choose to give you respect or not, and if they don't, then they just aren't meant to be in your life, and you have to make that choice to remove them from your life. But next one is always seek clarity and never become complacent and not knowing. And so that really comes from a place of, effort. That really comes from a place of, noticing the problems within ourselves and noticing the problems, that we notice in our life, and not just letting them be. Personally with myself, where this lesson came from was, there was a lot of things in my life that I just didn't know. So my coach or people would ask me certain questions about important things that actually were relevant and mattered towards my self-growth and just kind of where I'm growing in my life. They would ask me certain questions, and sometimes it'd be like, the answer was simply, I don't know. And I would just leave it at that. And, as I became more aware of me be saying like I don't know, and people kind of started pointing it out and saying, you're unsure and you're unclear on a lot of areas of your life as to why you're doing these certain actions, as to why you feel this way about certain things. And I had to learn to stop being okay with just not knowing. Be more intentional about the areas within your life that are unclear and that are actually important and relevant. A lot of you guys deal with things like anxiety, or you have this fear, or you're scared of making this certain decision or taking this certain action. You're so attached to this person, or you're attached to this specific thing. You're trying to control all these different areas and aspects of your life. And it's like, sometimes you really got to ask yourself, why are you even doing the things in which you're doing? Why do you care about the things in which you're doing? Why are you struggling so much with this anxiety? Why are you struggling so much to step into the unknown? Why do you fear letting go of this specific person? Why do you struggle so much with setting boundaries? What are you afraid of if you do set boundaries? Actually facing those parts of yourself. And I get it, because a lot of times when we have to do that, it causes us to have to make change within our lives, let go of certain habits and certain things that we may hold on to, essentially. Sometimes we do certain things and it allows us to essentially have an excuse. We don't want to approach this person because we have this anxiety. We don't want to, go after this dream or fulfill this vision that we see for ourselves because we're scared of this or we're scared of that, or we don't have it all figured out. Facing those areas of yourself, or we resent getting in relationships, or we just want to be lonely and we don't want to put ourselves out there because we don't feel good enough. But it's like, why don't you feel good enough? Questioning yourself and truly, trying to overcome and build those areas of your life essentially, so that you can overcome those adversities or those roadblocks or those challenges that you might be facing in life, instead of just allowing them to remain as is, limiting your own growth essentially and limiting you from becoming the person who you actually want to be. Third lesson: some people will only see you for your mistakes and not the changes that you make after making them. And so throughout this year and every year, you're going to make mistakes. And what I've had to realize is that in making mistakes, some people come to the conclusion of who you are. Some people will only want to see you for the mistakes in which you've made and the impact it's had on them in that moment, rather than seeing like, are you capable of changing? Are you capable of becoming someone different? Do you actually take responsibility for your mistakes? Do you actually learn from your mistakes and choose to make a change within your life? Not everybody's going to give you those opportunities, and sometimes it's a thing of how they judge themselves. Some people hold themselves against their own mistakes, and it's like, anybody who judges them, people tend to judge you how they judge themselves. And so if they can't forgive you for your mistakes, then they probably can't even forgive themselves for their own. And so it's a thing where it's like, you have to know within yourself that you're becoming better. You have to know within yourself that you're taking responsibility for your mistakes, and that you're, trying to become someone different, trying to become someone more, understanding that, who you were in that moment isn't someone who you want to be, and that you're going to put in the effort to become someone better. But I think a lot of us, we tend to make changes with the expectation that some people will give us more chances, or we'll get certain opportunities back, or we'll be able to change the past or fix the thing in which we kind of messed up. We may have broken, we may have lost a person. We may have, again, missed an opportunity. We may have just failed at something. And it's like, we won't always be able to get those opportunities back. And what I've come to understand is that some people will only hold on to that negative version of you because it fits the version of you that they, or the idea of you that they want to have for you. Some people only want to see the bad parts of you and will completely disacknowledge those positive parts of yourself and the good parts of yourself, or the good change that you're making. I was talking to someone the other day, and obviously this is an extreme, analogy or example, but it's like, some people have a big hate, and I'm not a political person, but some people have a big hate for certain politicians. I'll just throw Trump out there. Some people have a big hate for Trump, but I promise you, if Trump were to start today and start being this massively good person who feeds the homeless or caters towards a certain group of people or something like that, he could do all the good in the world. But some people are only going to hold on to his past. Some people are only going to see him for the decisions he's made in his past and judge him based off whether they believe that decision is right or wrong and things like that, or good or bad. They'll always hold him for what he did in his past. And I think it's important to understand, again, who you are to you. Understanding who you're becoming, understanding that you're becoming someone better, understanding that you're taking responsibility for your past and the decisions you made in it and the impact you made in it, whether good or bad, and going out and understanding that you're becoming someone new. You're putting in the effort to become a better version of yourself, essentially, but not carrying the expectation that others will see you for that as well. Some people only care to hold you against your past and the negative that's in it. Next one is, let people be who they are and don't make it your responsibility to fix them. And so what I've had to learn this year is that, everybody is their own person, and everybody is who they are for a reason. We all have our own different journeys. We all have our own different traumas. We all have our own different adversities and, paths in which we're going down, essentially, that influences who we are in this moment. I have my own story that influences the type of man I am. Other people have their own different fears and traumas and experiences that create certain fears within them, or creates limitations within themselves, or makes them, not as emotionally intelligent, or they just haven't gone through the same experiences in which you've gone through. They've been told certain stories as they've been brought up. They've been influenced by certain people around them. And so that just goes to say, like, everybody's their own person. Everybody obviously has their own imperfections and areas of themselves in which they need to work on. But from the outside looking in, we might be able to see the broken parts of other people that they don't even know is broken within them. They don't realize how, their past or their certain fears might be affecting the relationships they have around them and things like that, or how it may be impacting their life in a way. We have blind spots, essentially. We have blind spots that hold us back or create limitations, or that affect us negatively in life, but we don't actually recognize it. And what I've had to learn is, like, people have different traumas, they have different fears, they have different things in which they struggle to face, whether it's communication, whether it's being a people pleaser, whether it's, honesty and stuff like that. Like, you can't make it your responsibility to try and fix people. If somebody's scared of commitment, if somebody's scared of communication, if somebody's scared of giving full effort, if somebody's scared of, taking responsibility for their own actions, let them be who they are. And, don't make it a goal to try and fix it. I think too often I made this mistake with myself. I would give people chances. I would wait around and hope that people were going to change. I would try and, teach people lessons, essentially. I feel like I'm a pretty wise person, or I have a good understanding of certain things. And so sometimes I might try and fix people just unintentionally. It's like you're able to see the potential, the path that people need to take in order to improve certain areas of their lives. But it's like, when you try and force growth on certain people, it really just causes you your own suffering, because, again, people are on their own journeys. People are going through their own different experiences, and they're at different stages of their lives. And when you try and force people to grow or become somebody in which they're not ready to be, you're gonna realize, like, that's really just gonna cause you bad mental health. That's really just going to cause your own mental turmoil or your own mental suffering, essentially. And so sometimes you just have to let people be who they are. And if that's not somebody who you want in your life, then make that decision to move forward, without them. If that is somebody who you feel you can tolerate, then tolerate them. But don't wait around for people to change. Don't wait around for people to improve the areas of their lives in which you see they need improvement. Don't try and, fix people and go out on a limb to tell people what's wrong with them and how they can improve and things like. Let people be who they are. Let people go on their own journeys. Let people discover the different areas of themselves that need improvement, or that they need to change, or that they need to strengthen and things. Like, let them go through that process on their own. And if they're truly meant to be in your life, if it's truly something that you feel was meant for you, then it'll come back around. It'll all work itself out. But you have to also be honest with yourself and understand, like, you can't fix people. This person isn't for me right now in this current season of my life. Who this person is showing up as, that's not who I need them to be or who I want them to be. And that's okay. Just because people are at different stages of life doesn't mean we have to judge them or hate them or resent them in some type of way. Sometimes we just need to allow it to be what it is, because where that person might be strong in their life, that might be an area in which we're weak in. And so, again, it's just understanding we all at different levels of lives, and if it was meant to be, or if it that person is meant to be in your life, or that opportunity or that thing, whatever, like, it'll come back around. So you just have to let go of trying to control so much, trying to control people, trying to control the people's growth, trying to control where people are in their journeys of their own lives. Last one, see people for who they are and not who you want them to be or who they once were. This was a big thing I struggled with this year. I felt with certain people I was holding on to potential. I was holding on to who people once showed up as, and the little glimpse and the little hope of, this is within them. I know they're capable of being this person because I've seen it before. Now, I just need to manipulate, or I just need to somehow bring that side out of them. Sometimes I would tell myself, I just need conversations. I just need clarity. I just need to explain this. I just need to, work through this. I just need to be patient. Yeah, you come up with all these different excuses to stay, again, in situations that are just no longer for you. See people for who they are. See people for who they're showing up as consistently now. It doesn't matter who they could be. It doesn't matter if, all they need to do is work on their communication. All they need to do is work on, not reacting out of emotions. All they need to do is become more honest and take more accountability. Like, it seems simple to you, but that's a whole process for somebody that not everybody's going to be willing to go through. Again, some people think they're fine as they are. Some people feel that they don't need to make any change within themselves, and so they don't. They don't think that they're too selfish. They don't think that there's anything wrong with how they react to certain situations. They don't think they're ever wrong in situations. And so, when you're dealing with people like that, it's impossible to hold on to potential and wait around, because it's never guaranteed to happen. Some people are never guaranteed to become the person who you want them to be or who they once were ever again. Again, people are just going to outgrow you at times. Sometimes you're going to outgrow other people. Sometimes you're going to go on this path and you're going to be growing in this way. And some people are just going to be growing in a completely bad direction. And you just have to learn to see it for what it is. Sometimes we get in this mood where we feel obligated to fix things with certain people because it's like, oh, they've been in my life for this long, or they've been around for this long. When it's like, no, like, you gotta learn to just see people for who they are. And if that's not who you want them to be, if that's not somebody who's good for your life and where you're at currently in your life, then you have to be willing to let that person go. Because again, if not, you'll always have that hope. And I think hope is the number one killer for us when it comes to being able to move forward, especially in relationships, bro. Like, when we're really hanging on to hope and we're really hanging on to the idea we have of people or who they once were and things like that, we stop ourselves from meeting new people. We stop ourselves from creating new opportunities and stepping into new spaces and building a life that no longer has that person in it. We carry this expectation that, oh, all I need is to wait a couple months. All we need is a little bit of distance. All we need is a little break. All we need is a couple conversations. And we turn around and the whole year is wasted. And it's like, I wasted my whole year waiting around for this person to do this, and they never did it. And all it did was hold me up from stepping into my new and better life or moving forward in my life. And you have to really make that commitment and make that decision and say, I'm going to let this person be who they are, and I'm not going to try and fix them. And, I'm just going to accept them for who they are right now. This is just the reality of who that person is. And like myself, I had to learn that it's okay to be wrong about people. At some point in time, my ego used to get hurt that I was wrong about a person, that the idea I created in my head I wasn't capable of bringing it to life like I thought I would be able to. The situation didn't go in the direction I wanted it to. And it's okay to be wrong. It's okay for a person to not be who you once thought they were or who they showed up as temporarily and stuff. It's okay to let that go. But you have to see the reality of who people are, as they are. Like, because if not, then you're only going to hold yourself. You're only going to create your own suffering, and you're only going to hold yourself back in life from stepping into the better that it may have to offer to you. But, I appreciate you guys for tuning into the video. I hope you learned a lot, or at least a thing or two. Be sure to check out the hoodies that are dropping on January 3rd. I plan to upload this on January 2nd, so hopefully it's uploaded by tomorrow as of now. But yeah, like, comment, subscribe, turn on post notices, and use code WKeepItReal at checkout for 20% off on the hoodies. And yeah, I'll catch you guys in the next video. Peace.